Okay, so this is about the levers of happiness, essentially the framework that talks about the science of how we can make ourselves happier in life. So number one is sense of control. And this is simply, are we empowered to make our own decisions? And are we empowered to feel that those decisions are being executed upon? Another way that I look at this is called expectation management. Because at the end of the day, we're not saying, oh yeah, be happy-go-lucky and everything will be happy for you. What we're saying is to be rationally optimistic. So to be optimistic, but to be grounded by the reality that anything can happen from the very best to the very worst. So that knowing having that expectation going in, the probability of you being unhappy about it goes that much lower. So that sense of control, and then there's sense of progress. And so this is essentially, are you learning, are you growing, are you developing your life and your workplace? One of the things that Zappos did many years ago was that for a merchandising department, for a person coming in at entry level and eventually being a buyer, it takes 18 months. But what they did was they divvied it up in thirds. So that every 6 months they said, hey, congratulations, this is what you accomplished, and this is what you have much left to do. And just from that act alone, they didn't even do anything different in the pay structure. They showed that the levels of happiness in the merchandising department actually increased just because of that. Another example I think about with sense of progress is this movie back in the 80s. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's called Coming to America by Eddie Murphy. Anyone see it? Yeah? Cool? All right, cool. That one person out of this whole room saw the movie. So many of you don't know the movie, but basically it's about Eddie Murphy, and he essentially is, he comes to America, he's a prince, he's never worked a day in his life, but then he falls in love with the daughter of the manager of McDonald's. Actually, it's called McDowell's in the movie, but anyway, he falls in love. So he decides to get a job at McDowell's, and then you see that one scene, and he comes up with his best friend, they're wearing their uniform, and they totally look, just unhappy with life. And then you see this dishwasher, and it's played by a comedian, and he said, hey, don't look like that. I was once like you. But then I graduated to the mop station. And then I graduated to the lettuce station, then the burger station, and in just 2 years, I'll be assistant manager. And so you look at their faces. The best friend just looked totally disgusted. He said, are you serious? Get me out of here. But you look at Eddie Murphy, and he just looks like he's beaming with pride because all of a sudden he found his purpose. All of a sudden he sensed his sense of progress and steps on how to get there. Never mind his higher purpose was to get into the daughter's pants. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that he finally found something that he could be proud to progress to. Third thing is connectedness, very simple. What's the breadth and depth of your relationships? And the last thing is the biggie, vision and meaning, and I'll talk about this more in the next slide.